Hello and welcome to Firstpost. Today we have with us the cast of Aap Jaisa Koi and Vivek Soni, our Madhavan and Fatima Sana Shaikh. Welcome. So we just want to know how many of you are in a dating app?
ये तो इनकी बहुत शादी बहुत सालों से चल रही है.
मुझे उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ी.
Good.
अगर हो भी रहूँ तो मैं आपको बताऊँगा नहीं.
Vivek,
are you on a dating app or were you ever on a dating app?
I was once, and at times, because the thing is, I'm not a dating guy person in terms of like I'll rather meet someone in life and have a conversation, because I mean once I was there for a small period and I realized that too much of pressure to, I mean like I don't know, the process itself, like first you have to kind of
so unnatural.
It's very unnatural, and then you have like to have a conversation, you start the conversation without even knowing that person, just by looking at the pictures. It doesn't come too naturally to me. I'll rather know someone and then sit and just have a conversation.
You don't even know who's the other person behind the thing,
like,
whether it's a man or
no, hoping if the person is correct. I mean,
I just realized, so it all starts with objectification in the first place, ना?
Yeah, of course.
कि पहले looks match हो रहा है कि नहीं पहले वो देखो भैया.
First you look,
very superficial.
है ना?
So yeah.
So what is barabari wala pyar for you? What is love of equality that you mention in the movie?
When your ideologies match, when there is mutual respect, there are कोई भी दो इंसान ना सेम नहीं होता है. आप evolve करते हो, आप समझते हो.
In the relationship.
Every relationship. What I come with, my strengths and weaknesses are different from my partner's strengths and weaknesses. The point of a relationship, an ideal relationship, is when your weaknesses also become your strength and you work with each other.
They don't make fun of it.
Yeah, मतलब हम उसके weaknesses मेरे strength से मिल जाएंगे और मेरी weaknesses उसके strength से मिल जाएंगे, and eventually it will be a wholesome relationship.
What about you? You've been a married man for a very long, it's the longest that we have known.
Yeah.
So,
That's
so tell me about your real life. How much do you relate to the role that you've played? You don't relate much, I'm sure. But then what is it like?
You know, I've seen my grandfather and my grandmother. They grew up in a very different society. Everybody's roles were cut out. They didn't fall in love and get married. She probably got married when she was 14 or 15. And he was probably 21 or 22. That's the norm then, right? And they had babies and they lived a life of love for 80 years.
Wow.
At the end of those, at the last few years, I could see my grandfather would literally tarapo to make sure my grandmother was okay. Has she eaten? Has she taken her medicines? Has she, you know, like, have you got a new sari? What is it? Do you know her color is like orange? Why are you getting a green? So the amount of attention and care he was verbalizing at 80 was for me just pure love. It was like he would not eat till she's eaten, make sure she's okay. And so I realized that the circumstances under which they would have fallen in love would have been very different. It would have been forced companionship, it could have been a marriage that was arranged. But the definition of barabari was very different then, and it is very different now, and it will be very different for my son's I think generation, and even more as it goes along. So the transformation happened very quickly in our generation. We came from that.
Very quick.
And then we had to adapt to the new relationship world. And so happily we did, because I don't think the men from decent middle class families ever wanted to do anything else but give respect. The way they gave respect was sometimes not acceptable, and now they're towing the line.
Relationships are changing, so as we say, the cinema is also evolving over a period of time, quite a bit. And Madhavan, you have seen the evolving of cinema from when you started and now. Now, every character plays a very important role, not just the hero and heroine. Like, for instance, if you take this movie of Aap Jaisa Koi, Kusum Bhabi is equally important as Fatima's role as Bela Bose. So just want to know, as Miss Bose, so just want to know, what do you have to say about this beautiful change of evolving of cinema and what it has come to now? Not just on the digital platform, but even theatrically things are changing. There are the masala movies, but there are many movies that are making a lot of sense.
पहले भी बनती थी ऐसी फिल्में, जैसे अर्थ हो गई, वो कमर्शियल नहीं होती थी. वो कमर्शियल मूवीज बोला जाता था. अभी द डिफरेंस इज दैट अब कमर्शियल हो गई है.
नाउ इट्स कम कमर्शियल.
सो अभी हम उन चीज़ों के बारे में बात करते हैं और लोग देखना भी चाहते हैं. Also, cinema is a reflection of society. When the society changes, even the cinema changes. Because अगर कुछ ऐसी फिल्म आएगी जिससे लोग रेजोनेट नहीं करते, अभी वो वॉइस करते हैं. So everybody is a little more aware of what conversation is taking place after a movie is released. So I think उसके वजह से ना responsibility also lies on the maker, and there is just people are hearing what the audience want, and that's why makers are making that. That's what I feel.
So that's what the requirement. I think the audience has also evolved over a period of time. Do you agree with it? So how did this idea come to you? Did you see this kind of relationship all around you? What was it like?
So idea came from Netflix. Radhika had written a story, 18 pages. I mean, she had shared, and then it was shared with me. I mean, I found quite unusual and interesting in a way that first the age gap between both the characters, you know, and it's not a regular teenage, young adult sort of a romance. There's a 40-year-old guy who's not been married and looking love in his life. 42 years old guy who is looking for companion in his life, you know. And then it's apart from, of course, being a family film and a lot is going on, but there is so much else to explore in terms of companionship, in terms of loneliness, in terms of romances in today's age. Right, so it gave a possibility to tap into all those aspects, right? So I mean, that's what fascinated me in a way to kind of start
with the movie.
Yeah.
The story was a hero. Like all other movies done on the digital platform.
Yeah.
So did you all travel to? I'm sure you traveled to Calcutta. What is the best thing you liked about the food? I see a lot of hilsa on the plates, and did you try that, Madhavan? Did you?
Try it? My God, I think we binged
Inhaled
on it. Inhaled it also. I've been born and brought up in Jamshedpur, so Kolkata, puchkas and rasgullas and
it's
everything
quite
is
a lot of
part of my
similarities
childhood, right? So
you've been born and brought up in childhood in Jamshedpur. So you must have had the Calcutta community also over there.
Yeah,
Bong
very much.
community.
I grew up with this. I know when he's talking about Saraswati Puja and Durga Puja and all that, it was all very integral part of my growing up. And so when I went to Jamshedpur this time, I made sure everybody got the churran that I used to enjoy from
so
outside.
good.
It was so amazing.
So tasty.
That kala churran and stuff.
Yeah.
So the food in Kolkata, you know, it's a part of the, it's not even part of nourishment. I won't say it's nourishment, or it is part of the culture. It's a part of everyday. Bhog was like a, you know, it is an integral part of their existence.
Yeah.
And
Food is a very integral part. We live to eat. We
exactly.
Don't
But,
we don't
but
eat
I
to
feel
live.
like he's right. Maybe in Calcutta or in other states, कुछ states में वो ज़्यादा strong होता है, काफी strongly weaved होता है. जैसे I feel in Mumbai, it's we eat whatever we get. There is not a lot of
Because there are a lot of other pressures, no?
Exactly.
Survival
he's very
pressures,
right,
rent
I
and
didn't
everything.
think-
But you see, Lucknow, it takes pride in its
Food.
culinary
Cuisines,
skills.
yeah.
Yeah. Or you go to South, there is like the variety. How do you know that is true? Is there's a bigger variety of food to be
Bigger
consumed.
plate.
हाँ, कुछ चले जाओ तो limited ही मिलेंगे.
Yeah.
But any occasion in a regular Bong household, the way it is shown in the movie, food is a very important
वो तो
part
Bong-
on a
but
regular basis.
that's
also.
true.
Day-to-day basis.
That's
Because we
But another cultural difference ये है
बताइए.
कि if you go to a Punjabi house or the northern, they'll never be short of food. आप भले
It's so
कभी भी आ
true.
जाओ,
Yeah.
वो आपको खिलाएंगे, आपके पास खाना होता है.
That's so
वो ज़्यादा जैसे साउथ में है कि अगर आए तो बनाना पड़ेगा भैया अभी, अब रुको हम बनाएंगे. You know, हम expect नहीं करते थे. So that such a
It's a cultural thing. In Rajasthan, like we have this manwar. This word is called like you have to, like in a lot of places where you'll go, if you'll say no, I don't feel like having it, and they'll stop. But in Rajasthan, the place where I come from, they'll not stop it until you really take it, regardless of whether you have had it 8 times or 10 times.
एंड जैसे मैं जब भी जम्मू कश्मीर बचपन में जाती थी, वहाँ पे अब एक दिन में सारे रिश्तेदारों को मिलना पड़ता है. अगर आपने किसी के घर पे खाना नहीं खाया, भाई उनको जेन्युइनली बहुत बहुत बुरा लगेगा. एंड दैट्स हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट फूड इज टू पीपल, बिकॉज दे शो लव थ्रू फूड, यू नो.
Yeah, and the kind of misogyny which was shown in the brother's character, is it a very common thing in a northern household? And the criticizing of the Bong woman, saying,
दारू भी पीते
दारू भी
हैं, ये भी
पीते,
है, वो भी
they
है.
smoke,
Politics
they
के बारे में
drink,
Politics के बारे
में
they
बात
discuss. We have a very strong political opinions also.
Sure.
And we are very politically and socially aware.
Aware.
So is that quite a questionable thing on the character?
Look, I will not generalize it that only
North.
in North you will find men like those. I feel, at times it's just like it's spoken about in way, but I guess in everywhere, it's like everywhere you will find certain men in terms of a certain group of people, perhaps the way of showing affection, the way of understanding is a bit different, and that also comes even in film. We have tried to show in a way that we all are in terms of how we've been brought up and the kind of conditioning we have had. भानु जो कैरेक्टर है, अगर उसके दादा या परदादा अगर एक पढ़े लिखे समाज में बड़े बड़े होते तो मे बी ही wouldn't have reacted like that. Correct, he wouldn't have said those things, if he would have well read, if the father would have been well read. और and same with Sri Renu in terms of the like क्या होता है कि जो मैं जिस समाज में पला बड़ा हूँ, अब उस समाज के हिसाब से ही मेरी पर्सनालिटी के अंदर कैरेक्टर्स रहेगी. In Madhu, the point is कि over there we have shown a family where they're very well cultured, they're very close to the art, where the heritage in terms of the kind of books they have read, so they have those sort of a perspective. But I'm not trying to say that कि यार हमेशा कलकत्ता के अंदर you'll always find people who are will always be on this side of the fulcrum, and in Jamshedpur or in North you'll always find people who are always misogynist or something will always have these sort of an issue. This is just talking about these two families. I don't want to draw any generic
but there was a toxic misogyny which was shown in the few characters.
Correct.
And the way
when you see the movie, you will realize that the intent was not that. He's actually a very loving guy also. I mean, I don't want to break the story for you. It's just that
I've seen the movie.
That's what I'm saying. So the condition. So but I don't know if it's going to come before or after the release.
After.
So you've seen the movie, so you know what I'm saying. It's not that he intends this to be. When he's put in place, he suddenly realizes that he becomes a mouse. He's not one of those guys who says, you don't mean anything more to me. It's very easy for them to walk out and say, right, nahi karna hi nahi mere ko aisa. ऐसे कुछ चाहिए नहीं. You realize the genuine love was there, except that his conditioning brought it out in a manner in which was not acceptable in today's world.
And to love fearlessly, is it still considered to be a sin from a man's point of view, for a woman?
Love cannot be wrong in any way. Whatever way love is, it's correct. There's a positivity involved with the word love that makes it correct. You'll be surprised at how many people live with this sort of a situation, right? But for us to get educated to understand what women expect from the relationship is something that's going to take time for the guys to understand.
Yeah, to evolve.
So, and speaking in your own words, there is nowhere in the world where you will hear कि भाभी माँ समान होती है. For me, my bhabi is like my mother. Now tell me any other culture in the world where you have a story about how the bhabi is considered a mother. Now that's epitomizing a woman and putting her on a pedestal that, of utmost respect. But on the other hand, the same guy behaves like a idiot because his conditioning is different. So it is, loving fearlessly can never be wrong. Loving any way cannot be wrong. It's just that you have to
where to draw the line between
And also he's uncomfortable when she's not treated well. So his morality is different with his
brother.
नहीं अपनी श्री रेणु की भाभी कुसुम भाभी के साथ उनका रिश्ता अलग है where he is uncomfortable when she is not treated right, but he is doing the same thing with his partner, with Madhu. So वो भी दिखाता है कि relationship के साथ आपका approach कितना different होता है.
Just to add to the previous question what you had asked, what I personally feel, regardless of those sort of group of people who feel or who has a bit of a in terms of they have a certain way to look at things and of course been called misogynist. I feel in terms of everything, I mean those people will only reform if we look at them through the lens of kindness.
Yeah.
Very like important. If the moment you tell them you'll tag them, you'll name them and say, okay, just move aside because you are so.
You make an enemy.
You'll make that person will never be able to reform, right? You need to give that person a second chance for sure. Like that's what Madhu gives to Sri Renu in the end. Like if she would have said in a way that no, this guy is like this, I'm not going to give him a second chance, right? So I personally feel, because as I said in my previous as I said in terms of that, like we all are in a way what we have become is the way we have been brought up and the kind of things we have seen around. So everyone should be given a second chance in terms of, because that's the only way, the kindness is only the lens in which you can let the other person reform and look at what you're trying to say.
Very well put. Thank you so much for your time. It was great talking to all of you.
Thank you so much.
And enjoy the tea.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka karjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
$4 trilhão.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.